Another application of factored form is one which allows us to find the equation of a function based upon the x-intercepts that we can see in a graph and one other point. So for example, if we look at this graph, we can see that we have an x-intercept at -1 and an x-intercept at +4. So we know that the factored form is y equals a by x minus r by x minus s. So if we substitute into those values, we have y equals a by x minus r. So r is our first root, so x subtract a -1 multiplied by x subtract 4. So that becomes y equals a by x plus 1 by x minus 4. We almost have a complete equation. All we need to complete the equation is to figure out what a is. So in order to figure out what a is, all we need is one other point on the curve. So suppose we choose this point x equals 0 and y equals -8. We can then substitute in for x and y and say -8 equals a by 0 plus 1 by 0 minus 4. Or -8 equals 0 plus 1 is 1 and 0 minus 4 is -4, so -4a. Divide both sides by -4, we get 2 is equal to a. Factored form of this graph would be y equals 2 by x plus 1 x minus 4. Now if we wanted to put it in standard form, we can multiply this quadratic out and have y equals 2 by x squared subtract 4x plus x minus 4, or y equals 2 by x squared minus 3x subtract 4, and then I can multiply through by my 2 and get y equals 2x squared subtract 6x subtract 8. Now you'll notice a couple of things here. One, the -8, the constant term at the end, is equivalent to our y-intercept. So we could have found that by just expanding it and putting it in standard form. The other way we could find it is we know that our y-intercept is going to be located where equal to a times r times c, s. In this case, if we multiply a times r times s, we get 2 by -1 by 4. And 2 by -1 by 4 is equal to 8. So our y-intercept can be found by multiplying a, r, and s together. The other thing that we can find using our factored form or using our intercepts is we can find out where our vertex is. So we know that the vertex is halfway between our x-intercepts. So halfway between our x-intercepts, we're going to go 1/2 of -1 plus 4 equals 1/2 of 3 or 1.5. So we know the x-coordinate of the vertex is at 1.5. And the y-coordinate, we can substitute it into our equation. So y is equal to 2 by 1.5 squared subtract 6 by 1.5 subtract 8. And when we multiply that out, we get negative 12.5. So we know our vertex is located at 1.5 and negative 12.5. So starting with factored form of a quadratic and going from a graph, you can find the properties of a quadratic function.